Ben Askren has expressed his disapproval of any potential fight between Jon Jones and UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira.
Can we talk about your bestie Jon Jones and who he's going to fight? Because he's another guy that just goes off on Twitter. I don't know. He's another one that I would like to sit down and ask him, like, what are you thinking when you put this out? Because he's essentially, what he was making was a pitch to fight Pereira, right? And it's like, and you know, honestly, and the Stipe thing too is weird because Stipe now hasn't fought in almost 4 years.
Dude, he was 30. He was like 38 years old.
Yeah, he's like 42 or something. We want to see Jon Jones fight Tom Aspinall. Aspinall's got the interim belt. John's got the belt. It just doesn't make any sense. Just freaking make them fight. And then if John beats him, then Pereira versus John for, you know, a unification or something to that effect. But you can't leave Tom Aspinall sitting over here with the interim belt. And now I feel like it's kind of been a little bit of time since he fought. Like
November.
I wasn't a huge Tom Aspinall fan, but I was super impressed by his title fight, and I want to see this man fight again. And I hate the fact that they're making him just kind of sit on the bench.
Jon Jones won gold in March of 2023, but he hasn't made a title defense yet. In November of 2023, he was scheduled to face Stipe Miocic, but an injury halted that plan. Tom Aspinall, who won the interim heavyweight gold, has since been mentioned as a potential opponent, and I think fans everywhere are clamoring to see that fight rather than any fight between Jon Jones and anybody else. But tell us what you think below. Jorge Masvidal's return to combat sports has been a challenge for him, as he was originally scheduled to face Nate Diaz in a boxing rematch of their November 2019 mixed martial arts bout. However, the event was moved to the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, and is now delayed until July 6, 2024.
So yeah, let's just get right to it. The date change. Tell me why. Tell me what came down to it. I mean, obviously there was a lot of competition. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, not conflicting with UFC 301 and another date opened up. And tell me why you guys moved dates.
If you ask the same question to Nate Diaz, you'll probably respond saying, I'll tell you the truth because I actually do this for a living. I sell pay-per-views for a living. I'm a promoter. I have 3 promotions, Gamebred Boxing being one of them, Gamebred FC, which is bare knuckle fighting, and Icon, which is MMA with gloves. You don't want to go up against other dates and other fight events, especially you don't want to go up against the UFC. So from the beginning, I was trying to switch the date. Nate's a fucking idiot. He was adamant about staying on that date because he's not a UFC employee no more, and I don't have to do nothing for the UFC and this and that and that and this. But it just doesn't make sense, especially when I know Nate thinks he's a boxer now because he boxed the Jake Paul guy, but he's not a boxer, and he doesn't have a boxing fan base. The fan base that he has is from MMA, from UFC. So why go up against our own fan base? Me as a promoter, I'm thinking I don't even want to do it. You know, I know a lot of fight fans will buy both events or watch both events, but in my opinion, my honest opinion, why even do it? If there was days that weren't conflicting, you know, there was the weekend before that, May 25th, was a perfect weekend to go as well. There was so many dates and stuff, but finally the promotion heeded my words and stuff and decided to switch. Obviously, I don't like it that another month and a week got added to this already long training camp. But in hindsight, it doesn't really matter because I'm making the transition from one sport to another. So the more time I get to practice and perfect my craft and sharpen my tools, it doesn't hurt me or bother me the least bit, you know. Now, Nate Diaz is somebody that does bother me, and I want to because we could have had this fight at an earlier date. This guy's such a diva and a coward that he wouldn't want to fight in Miami. Didn't want to fight in Texas because things didn't go his way in Texas when he fight Jake Paul. Didn't want to fight in New York. Didn't want to fight in California if it was in his hometown. So I'm here pent up, frustrated, training my ass off every day just to get in there with this guy, and it hurts me.
So, I mean, look, man, I was there for the Vegas stop at the press tour. How annoyed were you with him during this press tour? Because it didn't feel like he really wanted to be a part of it.
I just feel like deep down inside, he bit off more than he could chew. He probably thought that I was going to take the fight like him, like, all right, retired and I'm coming back and I'm going to be drinking at basketball games all day long and not really training. And then, you know, 3-4 weeks out, start training and come up off the couch. Not the feeling, not the vibe that I'm doing over here. And he felt that since day one, since he looked at me and said, this is in shape and we're so far out and now we're even further out and I'm in great shape. I'm not taking it like him. This is not something that I'm getting forced into doing, that you have to drag me out of bed to go train. This is something that I want to do. I'm going to prove to the world how much more I want to do this than this disrespect. So I just felt like he didn't want to be there at all. And I mean, it was everybody's feeling like at the weigh-ins, at the face-offs, at everything. He just didn't want to be a part of it, didn't want to see me, did nothing. And that's because he knows I'm going to put a hurting on you, bro. I'm going to give everything inside of me to end you, to stop you that day.
The fight will be Masvidal's first appearance in action since his unanimous decision loss to Gilbert Burns in April of 2023.
What struck you about O'Malley? You're like, I can get along with this kid.
Yeah, just, he's not afraid to dye his hair and care what people think of him. He puts his hair pink. He doesn't give a shit, but he doesn't care. He goes out there and he shows them who he is. He's an all-time great. He's undefeated. He's the champion of the world in the bantamweight division. So I just like his style. I think he's got great style, and he brings something unique to the business that a lot of these fighters don't do. Like, a lot of these guys, they're just fighters. Oh, I'll show up. I'm gonna fight. They have no intellectual depth. They have no thinking where they're more than just a fighter. They can sell these fights. They can create business for the UFC. So that's what Sean does, and that's why I respect him.
UFC bantamweight champion Sugar Sean O'Malley was surprised by rare public praise from none other than Colby Covington, who has ruffled many feathers during his UFC career. Covington recently complimented O'Malley, saying, "I don't have many friends in the UFC besides maybe Sean O'Malley, who's cool. I respect that kid a lot." O'Malley responded to Covington's kind words in a recent episode of the Timbo Sugar Show podcast.
You know who gave me some praise I wasn't expecting? Well, did pretty cool. Colby Covington. People were tagging me in that.
Yeah. Well, he's cool. Smart.
Yeah. But it's just he almost broke character in a sense. People were I was reading comments that's the last person I expected him to respect.
Yeah.
It was just funny. But I mean, he's you can't deny cheddar.
I mean, serious.
And not even that, but skill set.
But also, dude, the cheddar that comes along with it, that you're able to give your family all the time and spoil your family, and Elaine is going to be taken care of. It's like these people say, "Oh, you're doing this color, you're doing all this antics." It's like, hey, what if someone said you did these antics, and your family could be taken care of for more generations, not just be like, "Oh, I'm going to fight in the UFC for 10 years, make a couple $100,000, take care of myself a little bit." You'd be like, "All right."
People just hate because they aren't a part of it, or they didn't do it their career, and they're like.
Covington is targeting a return to the octagon later this year, potentially against Ian Machado Garry. A timeline for O'Malley's expected fight against Merab is uncertain, but he has expressed interest in fighting at UFC 306 at the Las Vegas Sphere. Ian Garry is set to close out 2024 with a strong performance, having defeated Jeff Neal. He is now focusing on Michael Venom Page, who made a successful debut at UFC 299. It would seem Garry is moving on from a potential fight with Colby Covington.
Before I talk about fights and what could possibly happen next, let's talk about the big talking point, shall we? Everything that's going on online at the moment with Colby Covington. You've obviously called him out. You want that fight. I think that's quite obvious that you want that knock with Colby Covington. What is the current situation with that? And are we getting any closer to a date with it?
No, we're not. Colby is officially out. He sustained an injury in December that he medically won't be cleared until September. Now, I don't believe a fucking second of it. I think he's running. I don't think he wants anything to do with me, and he's running. But that's where I'm at.
Who's giving you that information? Is that what Colby's been saying online, or has that been given to you officially? They've officially told you that he's injured until September.
He won't be back until the end of he won't be competing again until the end of the year.
Okay. What do you make of the claims then from his point of view? Because I was watching something last week where he was basically saying that you were lying regarding contractual offers for you two to actually face each other at 303.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe anything that comes out of that man's mouth?
Well, I've got to remain independent.
Come on.
So I'm
Look,
throwing the questions your way.
If he was the one person you'd be trusting in the world to trust what comes out of his mouth, you wouldn't, right? He's a lying. That's the true language. He's a lying. He manipulates his words and says what he says. But at the end of the day, I sent you an email. You read that email. You seen that email. I was offered Colby Covington. The UFC offered me Colby Covington. Colby is running in my mind. He wants none of this. He doesn't like fighting people younger than him. Doesn't like fighting people faster than him. I'm far, far superior to him in every single which way. And the truth is, when he goes to bed at night, he knows the truth. He knows he's running. And he has to live with that.
Is this one personal for you?
How could it not be? How could it not be? With all the shit he's talked, with all the stuff he said, but he gets the opportunity to fight me on the biggest card of all time potentially, and he's running. It shows his true colors. He talks, but he doesn't walk. I have always said yes to anyone put in front of me. Anyone the UFC has offered me, I've said yes to. Colby runs. Colby is his DNA. He can't help himself.
Garry is waiting for Page's response and prefers to fight at UFC 303 alongside friend Conor McGregor. He believes it's only a matter of time until the division is forced to make room for the next generation of contenders, and Garry believes that he will continue to fight 3 and 4 times a year and clear out the top 15 before becoming champion. Say what you want about Colby Covington, the guy knows how to stay relevant and he knows how to stay in the headlines. Continuing on with our next story, Covington has shifted his focus from Ian Garry to top-ranked UFC welterweight Belal Muhammad. Despite Muhammad's potential fight for the title, no official match has been announced just yet. He said, "I want that racist to get a beating. Remember the racist?" Covington remarked, alluding to Muhammad's suggestion that Covington received his title opportunity due to white privilege.
Who do you think makes sense then? Like next fight wise, is there anybody that you've sort of got your eyes on? You mentioned Belal Muhammad recently. Is that like a possibility?
Yeah, I would like Belal. You know, he's talked a lot of smack. He's, you know, I want that racist to catch a fade. You know, he's remember the racist. You know, he's out there, you know, saying that I only got my title shot because of white privilege. Oh, Belal Muhammad, remember the racist. Now he's squatting on his ranking, guys. He should have to come out and fight. I think he should fight. I think that's the fight that should be next. He doesn't deserve a title fight, guys. How long has he sat out? He's sat out for over a year. He's squatting on his ranking.
He doesn't deserve a shot.
You know, that's not right, guys. He's squatting. You know, he doesn't deserve it. What does he deserve? What has he done lately? When was his last fight?
What does a fight between you and Belal look like? What do you think? How do you see you guys matching up?
Yeah, I see myself KOing him. It's just an easy fight. He can't strike with me, and I'll show the world that he's just one-dimensional. He's not going to out-wrestle me. He won't take me down one time. If he tries to take me down, he'll get submitted so fast. His takedowns are so average at best. So, and his striking is it's so bad. I mean, you couldn't put away a one-armed Gilbert Burns. Like, come on, dude. The guy was on one shoulder, like he had one arm. Like, you couldn't put that guy away. Like, that's pretty sad and pathetic. So I think I KO the guy, and I think that it's a pretty easy fight. So, you know, if the UFC wants to give me that easy fight, that's the fight I want. He's talked a lot of stuff. He said some serious things out there, made some serious allegations. They're racist, you know, and, you know, cancel culture these days, he needs to get canceled.
Dana White has announced that the UFC 303 gate featuring Conor McGregor's return has become the highest in UFC history.
Outside of tonight as well, I wanted to say congratulations on what I assume will be the UFC's first $20 million gate with Conor's return. Is that true? Is it going to break 20 million?
Yeah, it's already way over 20 million.
Is it a bit more satisfying? Because I remember there was another promoter in Espinoza who said the UFC's never done a $20 million gate, so is it fun to...
Who gives a flying f*** with Espinoza, thanks. Pardon my language, ma'am. Ma'am, sorry, yeah.
The headline bout, Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler, generated over $20 million in ticket sales. McGregor, the inaugural UFC dual division champion, hasn't fought in nearly 3 years. His opponent, Michael Chandler, has been a human highlight reel since joining the UFC in 2020. The UFC has been on a roll since its 300th event, and the UFC 300 bringing in just over $16.5 million pales in comparison to the record gate at UFC 303. Let's check out some of the comments from yesterday's videos. This person says, "Who wanna be like chicken Colby Covington? We want action, Triple C. Too much talking, bruh." This person says, "More like Colby Yappington." This person responds, "Charles will destroy Colby." This person says, "Joaquin Buckley and me have something in common. We were both shafted for a fight with Conor McGregor." You want to be highlighted in tomorrow's video? Simply comment down below, let us know your thoughts. We'll highlight the best comments, good, bad, or indifferent, and read them on tomorrow's video. Now let's check out yesterday's roundup of MMA memes. And that wraps up today's video, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, hit the bell notification, get notified every day when we drop a new video, and in case you missed it, check out yesterday's news.